Welcome back, beautiful beloveds. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to our 7 keys to chakra balancing. We are on day 2. I am your girl, Princess Leah. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family and friend, welcome back, beloveds. And I'm very excited for us to tap into today's chakra of the sacral. And if you got a chance to join us yesterday, you can see that we went really deep into our chakras. We went into the Earth Star, which is a chakra that not everyone is aware about, and then we also pull that into our root chakra. So today we're going to be speaking about our sacral. So Venus moved into Aries, so I'm wearing my Aries sweater today, which also indicates that the planet of love, the planet of abundance, the planet of all things beautiful is moving into the sign of fire, of passion, and motivation. And so, with this sacral energy, that is the energy of creativity. The sacral chakra is the area where we conceive, right? That's where the creation is conceived, the ideas, the thought, but also that's where life begins. That's where life starts in the physical body. So it's that beautiful, I'm hearing sacred womb of wisdom. So let that fiery, passionate, assertive, high vibrational Aries energy really stir up those beautiful qualities of the Venus, abundance, love, to really tap in and turn on our creative flow. So we're going to look at the sacral chakra. But first, if you are new to what I do, I'm an intuitive artist. So I tune in to the highest vibrational frequencies of conscious love through the tools of healing arts, performing arts, to heal the heart of a woman and the soul of mankind. And so that's the intention for all of the messages that I bring to you on my channel, whether it's through dance or performing or tarot or just intuitive downloads or our sound bowl healing or through conversation. My intention is to help us raise our vibrational frequencies to the highest frequency of love, of conscious love. You may be seeing my cat Tony Popsicle come through every once in a while. He likes to join our conversations, especially because cats are so intuitive. So they, know when that frequency, when that energy is needing a little bit of that wisdom, of that independent, spiritual kind of connection. But what we're going to do today for this sacral chakra, how we're going to tune in and tap in, is I'm going to read from a few of these books. We have the Book of Chakra Healing by Liz Simpson that I have been reading back and forth, cover to cover, studying it since I was pregnant with my son Indigo 8 years ago. And then I also am going to be tuning into this beautiful book, The Healing Power of Color by Betty Wood, written in 1984. We're also going to look into the Beyond Lemuria guidebook by Izzy Ivy, since she is the artist of all of the chakras that of the cards that we are looking at today. Izzy Ivy, she created 10, tapped into 10 chakras. So even though this is a 7-day workshop, even though these are the 7 keys, um, I do combine all of the chakras that Izzy Ivy talks about. And that's why yesterday it was a little bit of a longer workshop because we were tuning into both the Earth Star and the Root. So you'll see a couple of those doubled up here, like the heart chakra and the crown chakra as well. So, first, before we get into everything, I'm going to go ahead and tune in to any kind of prophetic downloads that might be coming from spirit through this sound bowl. This is the heart chakra sound bowl. And so, if you would like to place your hand on your heart, we will also be doing some sacral chakra meditation as well as we dive into more of the lessons, and a little bit more of an education around what the sacral chakra is. We will also meditate, but let's see what spirit wants us to know before we tune in. We will also end with a tarot card to see what kind of energies that spirit wants to just kind of leave us with a little message. Okay. I'm hearing spirit say a message that the message might be quiet. Sometimes, since we live in such a busy, loud world where there's something playing all the time, noises all around us, that it can be challenging to sit in that silence and stillness, as yesterday's message was, to not be afraid of the silence, to ground ourselves in the stillness. And I'm hearing spirit say that sometimes the messages can come in whispers. And I just am tuning into my heart fluttered because I just tuned into Corinne Bailey Ray's song, The Heart Beats and Whispers. The heart, oh, I think, and actually, I'm hearing a correction. I think the lyric is the heart speaks in whispers. So it's interesting I said beats. The heart speaks in whispers. And the fact that I just felt my heart flutter as I heard that song is indicating that spirit is definitely letting us know that the messages that we are seeking are speaking in whispers. That's why it's important to be still. That's why it's important to be in silence. Sometimes even having your phone on silent is what I'm hearing. Literally turning your notifications on silent. Maybe even turning that notifications of your apps off, because there's something about the dinging that really takes us out of being in the present moment. It can make us feel like we have to be constantly bombarded with notifications. We have to have, I'm hearing spirits say sometimes humans can have this addiction to the volume of hearing. We hear what is loudest. We listen to what is loudest. And now I'm seeing a vision of like being on like a like a game show, where you are asked questions and you got to give the answer, and the crowd and audience is like yelling the answers, and you're trying to, with listen to the answer within yourself, but you hear all these other answers and you end up choosing the answer of like the loudest person in the audience that said it at the very last second, and it ended up being wrong for because it was not what your heart was actually saying. So it's interesting that we have a lot of heart activation right now in the sacral energy. But I'm hearing that the core of creation is balanced, rooted, and stems from the heart. Interesting. Mm. And then it just stops. Thank you, Spirit. So don't let the outside noises, don't let the loud noises, don't let the external noises bombard you and stop you in your tracks to your journey to wholeness. The heart speaks in whispers. And so, if you are feeling like you need to be still, turn your phone off completely and let the heart speak to you so that your creative flow can move through your sacral. Let those juices flow through your sacral to create life. The sacral chakra is where that life begins. The life conceives. The life of creation. And it's not just about life in of human birth, but it's also life and creative birth, your soul purpose. So for women who shed their womb and recreate new cycles of life each month, take that as a blessing instead of a burden, in a way that you can see that it is creating a brand new beginning, releasing the old versions of yourself that no longer resonate with your body's cellular DNA. Some of you are becoming, giving, building, creating life in your womb right now. Maybe you just gave birth and you just literally pushed life into this world. I was just reading back on, I kind of stumped when I was journaling right before this. I opened up a journal entry about my dreams because I have a dream journal, but I've been using it as my regular journal lately. And I opened up to a dream about, and the reason I'm sharing this, Spirit wants me to share this with you because it does tie into the sacral chakra. I was dreaming about the fact that I was pregnant, but I had not conceived. I was in solidarity. I was in celibacy, and I had not. So there was no. It was like a Mother Mary kind of conception. It was like, how am I pregnant? I don't even know how this happened, right? And that was like all the dream was. And then the very next day, I wrote another journal entry. This is why it's so important to write your dreams, because this was back in like May of last year. And I was looking at the very next day, I dreamt another dream that that there was a newborn baby that I did not give birth to, but I wanted to nurse it as if it were my own. Even though I knew that was maybe kind of weird, even though in some cultures, different mothers would nurse everyone's babies because it would share their nutrients, but that's a whole nother thing. This wasn't that kind of thing. This was like, this felt like my baby, but I did not give birth. It did not even tie back. Like there was no connection towards of the dream that I had the day before about having been pregnant and not having conceived it. Now I had this baby that I wanted to nurse and hold like it, and it felt like my own, but I did not have any recollection of giving birth. So I was reading about my interpretation of what I thought that meant, and I thought about it of this like kind of this interesting polarity, that intimacy, that sex, that life, that birth, all of those have these polarities of beauty and pain, right? Pleasure and pain. So going back to that sacral energy, that sacral chakra, the feminine energy stores their traumas in their sacral chakra. Okay. And so when there is life that is being conceived in the sacral womb chakra, it is conceived typically, ideally, through pleasure, the act of intimacy, of intercourse, of pleasure. Hopefully, that's the case. That would be ideal, right? Not all the time is that the case, though. Let's be real. And that can also cause that can cause trauma to be stored in that sacral chakra. But we'll get to that. But even in that case, there's that pleasure and that pain, right? Because that pain could come from, Spirit said, speak on it a little bit. Because this still goes into that polarity for those who may need to hear this right now, because the sacral chakra stores so much power that if we continue to block its frequency with trauma, we can never really fully live in our potential, in our capacity, in our highest selves. So I'm hearing this is why we need to have that conversation of the polarities of the pleasure and the pain, where even that pain that happened, if it came from a space of trauma, that still came because there was this distorted desire for pleasure from another party, right? Um, there's this, sex can be such a beautiful and magical, healing experience. This morning, my Spotify playlist, I told you I channel everything is a message. So when it comes through, even if it happened earlier or whatever, if it's coming through now, it's a message. And my left leg is like literally asleep right now. It's like tingling and so asleep. This morning, my Spotify playlist came on Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing. How perfect for the sacral chakra. We live in a world, we live in a society, and it has been so wrapped around this patriarchal, like, dogmatic, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but this dogmatic idealism that sex is bad, even though there's so much like toxic sexuality out there, right? So it's like if a woman embraces her sexual expression and her sexuality, then it becomes this bad thing that she's all of a sudden this promiscuous, you fill in the blank. But if but then she's turned around to be objectified and subjectified and asked to let all of her X, Y's, and Z's hang out in order to arouse this market who are thirsty for this toxic sexuality. That's all I can say right now. And so this is what we're healing. This is what the sacral needs to heal. Okay? This is what the sacral needs to heal right now, especially as we are in this year of the snake, of our Kundalini rising. So, this is what I'm hearing, that the sacral energy is helping us nurture, is reclaiming our sexual power. I don't know how many times I can say it before I get cut off on this channel right now, but reclaiming our identity, reclaiming our innocence, reclaiming our wisdom and our fertility and our creativity and our sensuality and our femininity. That sexual expression does not make you bad. That exploration does not make you wrong. And that you should not repress it because of this distortion around how you can share your body. There is a higher level, and it's so interesting to talk about this just because this is a very strong topic, hot topic in just my own personal, external, personal vortex of conversations around with my peers right now. And I'm hearing Black Moon Lilith. Wherever you have Black Moon Lilith in your chart, probably good to check that out because that is that shadow, dark, feminine energy that has been repressed and oppressed. And if people don't know about the story of Black Moon Lilith, we ain't really gonna get into it too much. But it definitely is this empowering. It's this story of this. There's a lot of like biblical connection that is said. You take it if it resonates. Everything is take it with a grain of salt. Whether you think it's a myth, whether you think it's true, whatever. I'm not here to sit here and say look at this particular. Like I'm not about. You can fact check me if you want. This is just from the wisdom that comes through and the ways that I learn and ways that I am here to share with you from spirit. Okay, so there is this story around Black Moon Lilith and the Garden of Eden and how Lilith is um, Adam's first wife. And if again, if you want to stick with me, you can totally. If not, you can click off. That's cool. Before Eve, there was Lilith. And Lilith was said to have been made from the same materials, right, as Adam. And in so, she was made his equal. And because of that, she wanted to experience life equally as Adam did. Now, some will say that that could be encountered when it came to like them co-creating, procreating, and and she wanted more. She wanted to be able to feel the pleasures that it seemed like he was feeling. And there's all these other kind of conversations that you could talk about it with, which I might have to do an in-person conversation about it. That's not on a platform that restricts kind of the things I need to say. But because her pleasures were not met, because the things she wanted to explore was being considered as unnecessary, or that she could not explore that um, depth of pleasure, that her job was only to conceive and procreate, that she didn't like that, right? She's like, well, how come you can have fun? Like, I'll get this. So anyway, she apparently either she leaves, there's this, again, there's all sorts of different ties to it. But she either leaves the Garden of Eden or she's exiled from the Garden of Eden, whichever the case is, she is banished, she's not there anymore. And then Eve is said to then be created from the rib of Adam. Hi, we have Tony Popsicle says, yeah, some intuitive cat energy needs to come in. So then there's that whole thing about being created from the rib of Adam, so that she was less than, and all this other, you know, all of that, and that she then had to be submissive and all this. Okay, so Lilith was still out there, like she didn't just die, like she's still out there, and she was outrageous. She was livid. She was so mad about this, like whatever happened, that she felt very unheard, very unseen, very unvalued, and just like was like, this is not right. And so that's where the rage, the dark shadow, divine feminine energy came through, of this anger. And so that shadow feminine energy still lives on in all of us. We all carry feminine energy, no matter your gender or anything like that. Okay. All right. And if he's just like, let me just give myself a bath. So I'm hearing lick your wounds, like this rage. You just like need to like cater and clean yourself up and lick your wounds, and that's what you got to do here. That's what Tony is saying. So I'm hearing this as well, that this is living on through our sacral chakra. That dark shadow feminine rage is still carried in our sacral chakra, and we do need to clean ourselves up and lick our wounds from it, so that we can purify and transmute. The rage is not bad. It's how you use that rage. Okay. I'm hearing being angry is a natural human emotion. That's not bad. It's when we tell ourselves we can't be angry, right? No feminine, no woman, right? Can't, we were told that we cannot be angry. So a distorted Aries woman might feel like she can never be angry. And if she is, and she's making people uncomfortable, that she's wrong. And that stores in her sacral. Okay? Speaking from experience. So let me know if you're speaking from experience too. So, this is what we're healing right now. This is what this year of the snake, of raising our kundalini, of rising above, raising our frequencies, letting our energy transmute to a higher vibration into conscious love, does not mean repressing all the anger, so all you see is the unicorns and rainbows. No, it means being able to release the distortion and the lies and the false belief systems and the false agreements that no longer resonate with that low frequency. The low frequency that is held in the sacral is guilt. Guilt. That makes sense, right? Feeling guilty. I've done wrong, so now I feel bad. Right? Tony? I love that you're here, but you cleaning yourself is actually quite distracting for me. I'm just going to say that, okay? You can stay here, but maybe this is a message for someone too. Like your purification is actually distracting me. Can you like stop that? So probably, this is something that, that is a message that we're all working through right now. you can go purify and clean yourself over there, right? So yes, that's a message for sure. Love you. He's like, well, F you, I'm out. So, sorry. And look, now he's going to a scratch board because he's mad. But it's interesting. Look, like now it's like, okay, I'm gonna move over here. How dare you? How dare you not allow me to purify and cleanse and lick my wounds where I'm at and make me move off camera because it's distracting for you and your audience, right? That is a message for sure. So anyway, so getting into it, I know we have been chatting for about 30 minutes and we've been talking more so. I've been talking more so about this, but this all ties in to the sacral energy. This all ties into why it's important that we are healing our sacral wounds because sexual healing is important. That is the second to highest vibrational frequency that humans can experience. And then the first one, the highest that we can experience is love, is conscious love. So if we want to get to that conscious love, we have to move through the sacral, sensual, sexual healing to connect with another person and to its high space. Now, I'm not saying you have to have sex with anyone in order to love them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in that depth of connection, when it comes to intimacy in a relationship, moving through that energy, raising it out of its distorted low frequency of lust and guilt is what brings you up through your solar plexus into your heart. Maybe that's why there was so much heart fluctuations during the sound bowl of the heart chakra earlier, right? Because it does connect. The masculine's energy, the masculine's trauma is stored in the heart, right? So that makes sense of that sacral and heart connecting. Okay. And look, I just turned to the heart. That's funny. So hearing about the sacrals, if your sacral is spinning too fast, if it's too open, you will be characterizing emotional imbalance. You may be seeming as like this fantasist. You might even be showing up as manipulative and also sexually addictive. Interesting. That's when it's moving too fast, right? That hypersexuality, that sexual addictive behavior. Um, when it's blocked, when your sacral is moving too sluggishly or not at all, you may be feeling oversensitive or hard on yourself. You might be feeling guilty, right, for no reason, even frigid or impotent. It's like this water flowing. So if there's like no water flowing, then that's where it feels more frigid and guilty and sensitive or too critical. But when you have a balanced sacral chakra, you are trusting, you are expressive, you attune to your own feelings, and you are more creative, right? The core of creation, the birth of creation, okay? The sound, if you'd like to know the mantra sound, the Hindu mantra sound is Vam, Vam, Vam. So when we go into our meditation, we can sound those words if you would like. The associated senses are taste, the foods are liquids, the incense are jasmine, rose, sandalwood, and the crystals are citrine, carnelian, and golden topaz. The goals for the sacral is to allow pleasure without guilt. That was my intention for 2020. For since December, right? Allowing pleasure without guilt. Okay. Creative expression as well. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but not letting it come through. So I'm hearing that as like there's a tickle, a blessing on the horizon that wants to come through, but you have to allow yourself to express it. The life lesson is uncovering motivations, influencing choices based on conditioning. And the main issue is balance and emotional balance and sexuality. The developmental age is between ages of 8 and 14. So that's when a girl is moving into womanhood. That's when, you are exploring those innocent uh, beginnings of, being in boyfriend and girlfriend and hooking up and, kissing and all those explorations in that moment, right? You're practicing the right to feel. So, as we move into the sacral chakra, here's what's interesting is in the Izzy Ivy book, the sacral chakra is actually the picture of the sacral chakra is accidentally um, mixed. It's actually flipped with this other card called Stepping Through, where it's the number 47, where she's stepping through this lotus flower. And so I think that, when things are flip flopped, it's never a coincidence, in my opinion. It might feel like a human mistake, but it's never a coincidence, in my opinion. So that the stepping through card was stepping into your creative emotions. Let me just read it because I just feel like there's a message for that. Following your heart. There's that heart, the heart space, trusting, right? Dreaming big, stepping through something that has been holding you back, the blockages of guilt, the blockages of trauma of that sacral. The threshold, starting new projects, self belief, right? Releasing that guilt, those belief systems, knowing that it is all possible and allowing yourself, Tony. Hey, Tony. Tony. Tony, please don't jump up on the counter. Thank you. Allowing yourself to travel the road less traveled. Interesting. And I just heard one of the T formations that I pull for my Tea and Tarot Tuesdays. Um, there is pleasure in the pathless woods. There's that pleasure energy again. Tony, and if you are part of my newsletter, that is something that one of my last newsletters was about. And there's my cat jumping up where he knows he's not supposed to be. So this is another thing. Whenever Tony starts to act up like this during my lives, because we're live, so I can't edit this out, and I just have to go with the flow. You get to see me be cat mom and him act a fool. So he's mad because I closed his little room off, and that's why he's now exploring areas he knows he's not supposed to explore. So I feel that this is a message as well of when you feel closed off to your needs, you will then go and explore elsewhere, even if you know you are not supposed to be over there. Even if you have been told not to be up there, even if you have been warned, even if you have, eyes looking right at you, you're still doing it because your needs are closed off elsewhere. This is why it's important for us to allow. You see, Tony's really like active in this space today because, you know, I call him my grandma Tony reincarnated because and my grandma went through so much sexual oppression and trauma and so even in being, and it's had nothing to do with what, because whether she was happily in a marriage or loved her husband or whatever, there was still trauma that she went through with her husband. And to to be an offspring of that experience does also still affects my energy and my sacral chakra. So I'm hearing my grandma coming into this conversation right now through Tony's exploration and coming into lick his wounds and distract me and things like that, is of telling like our our some of our wounds go deeper than just our own lifetime of trauma, that we are also here right now, today, this year, healing generational and ancestral wounds that we may not have ever experienced, but still pour and trickle down into us, that we now, because we are more tapped in, tuned in, and turned on to higher vibrational frequencies, we now get the opportunity and the blessing and the gift and the I was about to say opportunity again, to heal, to end those cycles, to clear that trauma, and then to embrace the beauty of our sexuality, the beauty of our creativity, the beauty of our femininity and our divinity, right? Really beautiful. Thank you, Grandma. So, the sacral chakra, the core of creation, feelings, emotional responses, pleasure, sensuality, intimacy. I just heard into me, see, connection, letting go, creativity, sacred sexuality, passion, healthy boundaries, valuing the body. Mm. Valuing the body. I'm also being called, I want to, being called to look for stepping through. Here it is. Nice. Thanks, thanks, Tony. I just said thanks, Tony. I meant to say thanks, Spirit. Stepping through, and right underneath that is the harmonic flight. And underneath that is beyond the mind. Stepping through, number 47, reducing to 11. Harmonic flight, number 29, reducing to 11 again. 11, 11. Of raising our vibrations, of stepping through the limitations, the limiting beliefs, the disempowering beliefs, stepping through the traumas, and 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 even stepping through all of the deceit, so that we can fly in harmony, so we can raise our vibration, so we can come into union with our highest self, so we can come into union with our divine beloved, so we can come into union with our core of creation, our life force energy, and go beyond the mind. So I had to share that. I'll keep reading. Thank you for rocking and rolling with me. If you've been with me for the last 11 minutes, you are invited to revel in the present moment and feel deeply into your senses. The sensuality of being alive, the breeze on your skin, the scent of damp earth, the feeling of fitting perfectly into the temple you call your body. This card is about diving into the depths of a moment where all your faculties are available for divine creation. Yes. Your entire paint kit is present, as no part is left in the past or caught in the future. All of who you are unites in a point of deep experience. This is the ecstatic moment of conception for a project or new life. Let yourself drop into passion, intimacy, and loving connection with whatever you are birthing into the world and with whomever you have chosen to co create with. To restore your sacral, get in touch with your creativity and embrace your natural expression, however it looks to you. The way you live is an art form, a unique expression of yourself. You can dance through challenge, sing through restriction, and paint your reality. That's beautiful. Themes is your relationship with your body, your sensuality, and your sexuality. Healing position is in your lower abdomen and in your pelvis area, and the color wash is a vibrant orange. So hopefully I haven't said that sex word too many times. YouTube's like, you can't be here no more. Um, but I think that's so beautiful. I want to just read in about the orange, the color healing power of the color orange. And then we'll close out with our meditation. Orange is also regarded as a rather worldly and materialistic color to have in the aura. But again, it depends on the actual hue or shade. A muddy orange can indicate selfishness, an urge to get there first, pride, or obstinacy. But a clear orange, while of a material quality, shows normal ambition and perhaps denotes the down to earth person with little time or the fantastic. A pleasing apricot blend, orange, and pink for the kindly, commonsensical, well balanced type of person. Again, it's a sign of energy, physical vitality combined with intellectual activity, like a red and yellow, like the mix between red and yellow. But if dominating the aura leaves out the softening qualities of blue and pink, dominant orange is usually the sign of an ambitious, worldly sort of person, usually fairly healthy and not given to too much introspection. Interesting, right? Betty Wood, love that. This is the healing power. It says how to use color to improve your mental, physical, and spiritual well being. Yes, really beautiful. So, those are some of those introspective. I gave you my 2 cents and some stories around the sacral chakra, and then reading about these healing powers of the chakra, of the sacral. So let's go ahead and we'll just do a quick meditation about it, just so we can do a light crystal clearing and cleansing. And then I'll pull a message from our Star Child Tarot to wrap up, okay? So you can sit. Oh, I do want to show you the exercise if you would like to lay in the type of exercise for the sacral. When I have my in-person workshop, let me know how you like the depths of these workshops like this. I would like to do a more in person, intimate group conversation so that we can even do these movements and these exercises as we are mindfully moving and healing. So you can lay on your back in one of the exercises and kind of put your legs in a like open them to a butterfly with your palms of your feet touching and your arms out to the side. If you're listening to this and not looking at the picture, that can also help open up your sacral chakra. You can also curl and fold your body up on while you're laying back on your back. You can pull your legs in and hug your knees as a way of holding yourself. And then you can also stand up and you can open your arms to the side and kind of rotate your back and forward, kind of like you're giving a hug to someone, right? So I like that. So you can do those if you would like to do that while we're just doing a quick clearing meditation for our sacral. So you can also place your hand on your heart and on your sacral area, which is right underneath in that pelvic area, underneath your belly button. So let's take a deep breath. Ground into your sacral. Take all of the information that we spoke about on the sacral today. Where you see it's been blocked, where you still feel some lower vibrations of guilt, where you are learning that you have operated from a more of a distorted sacral sense. Breathe into that. Forgive it. Accept it. And then imagine a vibrant orange moving into kind of a crystal dust form, sprinkling it into your sacral chakra to cleanse it with healthy, maturing, and balanced pleasure, creativity, life, embracing, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to embrace the pleasures of life's blessings, beauties, and benefits, to cleanse and release the guilt, the lust, the hyper focus, the rigidity, and to love yourself as you are, to love yourself from where as wherever you came from, whatever has happened, to love yourself, to pour into your sacral creative expression, to let it flow, let the pain transmute into power by letting it flow into your creative outlets through dance or singing or painting or writing. Move through it, release the guilt for anything. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to feel upset. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to feel pleasure. You are allowed to be. You are light and you are beautiful just as you are. Vum. You can open your eyes, you can wiggle your toes. Tony liked that sound. Vum. So we're not going to jump up there, please. No, thank you. All right. So as we are wrapping up, thank you so much for being with me. This is a longer of the reads again, but just a quick reading here. I'm almost hearing that the cards that came out with Beyond Lemuria are the better cards of the stepping through into your harmonic flight, healing your sacral chakra in order to align with your divine soul counterpart, with your twin flame, with yourself, with your higher purpose, as above, so below, healing old cycles, cleansing and clearing old cycles. We have the King of Cups here, balancing those emotions, maturing those emotions. So you are balancing that energy from your sacral of your feminine energy with your masculine energy, and you are maturing emotionally as you forgive and heal and love and accept all of who you are. Really beautiful. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this helped. I hope this made sense. I hope it resonated with you. And if it did, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to join my Vibe Tribe, you can definitely subscribe to my channel, Princess Leah 888, and hit that notification bell if you want to know whenever I am going live for the rest of the duration of this chakra balancing workshop or any other. It is Tuesday, so we will be going live for Tea and Tarot Tuesday tonight. It's the first Tuesday of the month, which means my all signs reading in the midst of my all signs series. So we're going to be tuning into what all energies are happening for all signs tonight. So it'll be fun. I look forward to chatting with you more. And you can always reach out to me if you'd like to book a personal Tea and Tarot soul session. My information is in the description box below. But until next time, my beautiful beloveds, the light within me honors, values, and appreciates the light within you. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.